Hi, this is Blake Angelos with Yamaha Corporation of America here with the flagship of the S-Series arranger workstation line, the S970. The S970 really truly takes the S-Series to a whole nother level with a slew of great new voices, including some wonderful super articulation guitar voices. Also, there's new styles, including 40 audio styles up from 25 in the previous model. An audio style takes the traditionally rendered Midi drum track and replaces it with a true audio track of a drummer. You get all the feel, all the heart, the entire vibe of a real drummer playing with the rest of your style, and it takes it to a whole different level musically. So let's take a listen to the PSR-S970. And like all instruments, I like to start with the piano. Yamaha has been making handcrafted acoustic pianos for well over 100 years, and that experience shows itself in our electronic musical instruments. So let's take a listen to the super articulation concert grand piano that's in the PSR-S970. So the next voice I'm going to play for you is this really cool electronic piano, but it's really taken to another level with what we call VCM, virtual circuitry modeling. What virtual circuitry modeling does is it effectively recreates a whole slew of vintage effect processors from guitar amplifiers, compressors, and so on. And with the new 7-inch TFT LCD display, it really looks great with the photorealistic graphics. Check this out. When I hit the effect type, you see the VCM compressor associated with this electronic piano. It gives it a presence, and it makes the louds softer and the softs louder, so it evens out the entire playability of this instrument. First, I'll play a little bit of this electronic piano, and then I'll bring in one of the new audio styles. This one's called Tango Flamenco. It's kind of a cross between tango and flamenco music, and you'll hear in the audio drum track the clapping of the hands that's very familiar in flamenco music. So that was the electric piano with the VCM compressor. There's also some other cool effects in here as well. With the wah clav sound, I have a pedal wah. And with the pedal wah effect, I have a Yamaha FC7 foot controller to open and close the filter of the wah. Check this out. So let's take a look at the difference between an audio style and a regular Midi style. I'll just play a bossa nova and you can hear the drums. The first one I'll play is the Midi style of a bossa nova. And you'll just hear the drums, but listen to the difference between the two styles when I play them. Here's the Midi style first. Now it sounds pretty good. Without a doubt, we have great programmers that do our Midi programming. But now listen to the drum beat on the Brazilian bossa. So what did you hear in there? First of all, the cymbals immediately jump right out. They sound a lot fuller and a lot more like cymbals. But another thing is the tone of the drums, the way the drummer plays. just the overall mix. Everything sounds different and it brings everything up. But lastly, what you really get is this individual drummer's feel, which is pretty awesome. So the range of audio styles is pretty large in this instrument. This next style I'll play is called Industrial Chill. So I was talking about a real drummer last time with a real drum set, but this Industrial Chill style actually takes some percussive sounds where they brought in things like trash cans and anvils and things to hit that, you know, are metal things. And also in some of these electronic styles that are also audio styles, they get the benefit of going into a studio that has a ton of really cool vintage gear, vintage synths, and guys that really know how to do great loop programming. So the first one I'll play here is the Industrial Chill style with this really cool Rock Hero super articulation guitar, overdriven guitar sound. Check this out. So once again, let's compare the difference between a traditionally rendered MIDI drum track with an audio drum track. So I'll compare two different 60s era style drum beats. One of them is this 60s piano pop. This is a MIDI drum track. And the other one I'll play is one called 60s Supergroup, which is the audio drum track. So first, let's listen to the 60s MIDI drum track. And again, these drum tracks sound great with MIDI. We have really great programmers, but there's quite a difference between this track and the audio drum track. Not just because they're real drums, but also because of the miking techniques that they used, the type of mics they chose, the type of preamps, all the things that go into the production of the drum sound are brought to bear with these audio drum tracks, as well as the fact that it's a real drummer. So check this out. So that's the MIDI drum track. It's hard to believe, but it really was just MIDI. Now check out the audio drum track. There's definitely a big difference between those two tracks. They both sound great, but this 60s Supergroup, that sounds amazing. When I bring the rest of the instrumental components of the style in with this drum track, the whole thing just lifts up, and it's just a better sound. Check it out. So that's an audio style. The Arranger workstation as a commercial music making machine is really one of the most valuable tools that we have in our arsenal at Yamaha. For example, I actually once got a call from someone who wanted to have a Wild West style, but they wanted something more like the 60s classic orchestral score. And they wanted it for just a small little 30-second commercial spot. Now, if you think about what that means that I'd have to go and hire an entire orchestra, or maybe open up my computer and bring all of these different elements in, like VST instruments, and then score every single thing. How long would that take me? I don't really know. It would take me probably more than a day, probably like a couple days to do that. But with the Arranger workstation, I can knock this out in less than 10 minutes. Bring it into Cubase, make sure it's 30 seconds and hand it off, and I have a professionally rendered score. So check this out. This is the Wild West style. This style's been around for quite some time, but it still never fails to blow my mind how great this sounds. So check this out. Even has the gunshots at the end, which is a nice touch. But that was clearly longer than 30 seconds. But imagine what you can do, and that's just one of the styles that has this level of orchestration, and it's that fast. It's pretty cool. Now, I spoke about the super articulation guitar sounds in the PSR-S970. Well, one of my favorite sounds in the entire instrument, in fact, one of my favorite sounds almost of all time, is this shadowed guitar sound. So first of all, check this sound out. In songwriting, sometimes it's just a sound like this to inspire you, to set the tone of an entire song. So I chose a style in here as well, and it's a slow 6/8 style. It sounds like this. So that definitely sets a mood. Well, I have a friend named Havila Rand, and she's a songwriter from Austin, Texas, and I helped her with a couple of her records. And I have one of her vocal tracks that works really nicely with this sound, and it was kind of how that record sounded, but check this out. So I have on the multipad an audio track playing. It's one of the cool things about the audio multipad. You can assign one-shot sounds or full audio tracks to these multipads. And in this case, I'm using the multipad for her vocal track. And I have it set where I'm going to play the style that you hear right here with that guitar sound and the multipad playing back her voice. And you'll get an idea how useful this is in a songwriting environment. So check this out. So you can see that Arranger workstations are very, very valuable songwriting tools. You have amazing styles, you have amazing voices, all available to you at the touch of a button. The fact that these workstations are very wide, they're not very deep. And what I mean by that is they're always in this song mode. They're always in Arranger mode. There's no jumping down into menus and finding all these things. Everything is literally one button push away, especially with the direct access button. As soon as I hit that, I can hold down direct access and press virtually anything on the instrument, and it takes me to anywhere I need to be, from style control to voice control. It makes this a very fast instrument to write great music with. It's pretty amazing the things that you can assign to the live control knobs. Simply by pressing the Assign button, I have a list of all the things that I can assign it to. I have 8 quick keys so that I can jump through different ones, but let's say I want to assign it to a specific thing. So I'll use number 8 here, and you hit the assign button. You can see what you have on the left and right. So on the right, we'll just move through. You have voice filter cutoff frequency and resonance of the right 1 and right 2 voices. You have voice effect reverb, right 1 and right 2 for reverb depth. And on. I can move down here to style filter cutoff, style filter resonance, style filter cutoff and resonance to a single knob. I can move down to mic effect. You can turn on and off the reverb, the DSP, audio volume, and so on. Same thing, these are identical on both sides, so I can mix and match different things to program directly here. And once I've done it, they're here and they save. It's a pretty cool feature, and I'm really blown away at how easy it is to assign things on it. Great feature. So this first one I've set for voice filter on knob 1 and voice resonance of the filter on knob 2. And it's actually controlling right 1 and right 2. So let's hear what it sounds like. So here's another one. This is voice effect reverb send on knob 1, so more or less reverb, and knob 2 I've set to send chorus, so more or less chorus effect. So here I have style filter cutoff. This moves the filter cutoff frequency for the style, so it gets brighter or darker, and then style filter resonance, and you'll hear what this sounds like. So this next one I have set to style retrigger on off and rate. So what this does is it creates a stutter kind of an effect that affects the style. And the other one I have here is style track mute. This one mutes different parts of the style. Check this out. So here I've assigned knob 1 to the voice release time. It makes the note hold longer. And the other one I have the voice ARP gate time, so how long each of the individual ARPs are held. Just listen to it. You'll hear it. So you can see there are a whole host of things that you can assign these knobs to do in real time. It's a very cool addition to the S series. In addition to the vocal harmonizer, which was actually in the PSR-950 that generates backing vocals, which is pretty cool, we have now added a Synth Vocoder. The vocoder
triggers whenever I play the keyboard. via the microphone input, just like this.
And it's actually a very cool effect with one of these new dance styles.
PSR-S970. PSR-S970.
So the microphone input goes right in the back of the PSR-S970. You can route it also through all the effects as well. You can even route guitar signals through this and route it through effects as well. Yamaha has a product called the UD-WL01, which is a wireless LAN adapter. And one of the cool things that they've implemented in the PSR-S970, 770, and 670 is the ability to do Midi and audio recording. But it gets really cool with this new app, free app that they just released called Chord Tracker. You can get it at the App Store, and it's pretty amazing what it does. Basically, what it can do is it can look into your iTunes library and analyze any song that you have in the iTunes library, and it generates the chord data. It actually reads the audio and generates it. Well, I'll show you something else it does. It also records audio wirelessly. So I'll record some audio into it and then have it analyze my song, and then I'm going to send that song, the MIDI data, into the song area, and then I can use any of the styles to access the chords that I just recorded. So just watch how this works. It's pretty cool. So to do a new recording, I simply press the recording icon, turn on my metronome, press stop. I'll name my recording Now. Save. There's the recording. Look at that. It found all the right chords almost. This first one I'm not too sure about, but I can change that fairly easily if I really wanted maybe a G minor on C. Done. Now once I have the chords here, I press the send to, and I say send to instrument, and it communicates with my instrument. And if I go to the song area and I find user songs, Chord Tracker, it actually creates a file where I store all my Chord Tracker data. And I'll open that file, and there's the instrument, or there's the song right there. And there it is. So the chord data is in here, and I have a country ballad style associated with it. I can change now any style with the chords I played into it. So check it out. So literally anything in your iTunes library, any music that you have, you can render this, send it to the instrument, and try out different styles with it. It's a very powerful app. Chord Tracker with the wireless LAN adapter, the UD-WL01, and the PSR-S970. I've shown you quite a lot of features on the PSR-S970, and there's certainly a lot more I could show you. The fact that it's a USB audio player is one that I didn't get into. There's also some other features that are really cool about this instrument. If you have any other questions, check out the website, check out the videos that are available on the instrument, and go to your local Yamaha dealer and check out the PSR-S970 when you get a chance. I'm Angelos from Yamaha Corporation of America. Thanks for watching.